Hello, and welcome to my video on setting up C++ on your system, be it Windows or Linux or Mac OS. So before we begin, we gotta get some downloads, right? So if you're on Windows, first of all you need to get this installed, right? MinGW, and I'll have the links in the description. Download it and install it. The process is quite similar to everything that you do. Okay, so nothing complicated over there. And if you're on Linux, you need to open your terminal and run this simple command, sudo apt install g++, and press enter, and that will install the compiler of C++ on your system. Okay, and the G++ libraries are already pre-installed on your Mac computer if you happen to have that, right? So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to install Visual Studio Code, or VS Code as most people call it. Now, why VS Code? First of all, it's a really good text editor / IDE, and it's got a couple of extensions, really helpful extensions for doing everything, right? And it's lightweight. And if you don't want to use this, you can go ahead and use other things. For example, if you're on Windows, you can use something like dev C++, which is totally okay if you're a beginner, but I wouldn't really recommend going the dev C++ route, right? But if you're a total beginner, right, then the only thing you need to download is dev C++ if that's what you want to use, right? Otherwise, you can just follow along what I am doing, right? And it's totally awesome. VS Code is amazing. Okay, so as you can see, it's available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, right? So I suggest you get the stable versions, not the insiders version, because those can be unstable, and they're meant for developers who test for bugs and report them back to Microsoft. So it may happen that your program may run unexpectedly, or VS Code can crash, or unusual stuff. So it's really better to just stick with the stable version. So yeah, download whichever one that you think is for you, right? And once it's downloaded and installed, again, the process is similar to everything that you've done, right? You open it up. Now you can use the normal Visual Studio as well if you're on Windows or Mac, but it's quite heavy, and it's more of a specialized thing. Okay, and what do I mean by specialized? I mean that and if you're planning to have a career in C++, then you may think about migrating to Visual Studio sometime in the future, but as of now, if you're a beginner, VS Code will just work fine. Now, once you open Visual Studio Code or VS Code, it may look a little different since I've changed the theme. What you want to do is you want to click on this button over here. It says extensions, right? You can either click the button or you can type the shortcut the tooltip tells us, right? And you'll see the list of extensions that are currently installed. You may have none. So I've gone ahead and installed a couple of extensions that will be required. First is this one, C++ by Microsoft. So you want to go ahead and install this one. And the second one is Code Runner by Yoon Han. Now, I'm pretty sure I mispronounced the name, and I'm sorry for that. But yeah, you need these two. Once you've installed them, what you need to do is click on this settings button on the Code Runner extension, right? And then click on extension settings. Once the extension setting opens up, you need to scroll down and find this setting called Code Runner Run in Terminal, and you need to make sure that this box is checked. Okay, that's all you have to do, and C++ programs will start working just fine on your system after doing all of this. Now this process is exactly the same on Linux, as has been verified by my friend Moonstone. You can check out his Twitter page. It'll be linked in the description below. So yeah, go check him out. You can ask him questions as well. Okay, and when it comes to the themes, there are many extensions here. I have a couple of them. One is this material theme by Mattia Astorino. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. You can click on set color theme and a couple of themes here. Right? So it's your wish, your choice. You may leave it, you may not leave it. Now, once you've done all of this, you are now ready to start writing your C++ programs. Okay, so this program that I have written, it's the Hello World program, and this is kind of like an inauguration kind of thing, if you didn't know. So anytime you start learning a new language, this is the first program that you will write. It's an unofficial or official, whichever one you think, inauguration kind of thing, So yes, you may see other people writing this in some other way. For example, they might do something like this using namespace std, and if you do that, then you'll have to remove that, right? Either way is fine, but for now I'm going to stick with this. Okay, the reason, we'll get to the reason in one of the future videos, so make sure you're subscribed for that, right? And don't worry if you don't understand anything that's going on here. We'll start covering them up. We'll go through each and every one of these things in the future videos. But for now, I just wanted to make sure that you have the compiler and something like VS Code installed and properly working on your system. So let's go ahead and save the program. You can do that by pressing Ctrl S on your keyboard or Command S, and then clicking on this play button over here. This play button, also known as the run code button, as the tooltip tells us, right? So let's click on it, and it's going to compile. Seems to be okay, here we go. Hello world, as you can see. Now, you may want to go ahead and practice a little bit, so try typing other things other than the hello world, right? You can type your name, you can type anything that you want, right? So yeah, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you liked it. Hit the subs button if you loved it. And for some reason, if you did not love it, hit the subs button anyways, who cares?